All right, let's get a check of our weather forecast with Greg.
You have quite a wet system coming up too, and we have snow on the ground, which is going to cause a little bit of concern with some ponding of the water with the amount of rainfall that we could get. If you look at the snowpack right now, the only positive news is we're going to see the heaviest amounts of snow. The snowpack further to southwest Wisconsin, northeast Iowa is pretty limited right now. But with frozen ground too, a lot of this will run off. So this is always a concern when you have this type. Even some small rises in creeks and rivers could happen too, especially as you get towards southwest Wisconsin, like the Kickapoo would be one too that commonly does that. Tonight's temperature is still fairly mild. This is really a little bit above our average high temp once again. Some areas of fog, but it's not going to be widespread dense. Really, as you see overnight, we're going to start seeing it, this low cloud cover developing overhead. I've overlaid the visibilities and note that a lot of the lower visibilities are further to the north. So clear to Ladysmith, those areas probably could see some fog developing. Further south you go, it may be just a low cloud deck that kind of hangs off the ground a little bit. Now as we go throughout the night, you'll start seeing this kind of road a little bit because the winds are picking up and we have high clouds approaching from the south because of that system. So that will kind of push that cloud deck further. So waking up really, high clouds kind of breaking as you go further south, more low cloud hanging around for the morning and some fog. The good news is it's not going to last long, and then our attention really turns to the late afternoon. Those wind turns around and here comes that rain, and it's a very wet system and warm. So rain probably for Prairie du Chien after about 1 p.m. La Crosse area, it's more towards 3 to 4, and Eau Claire probably closer to 5 to 6. And then the challenge with this, you can see there's some yellow in there indicating some decent rain rates going on. The challenge going on through the evening, it's going to be very wet, but then as we get past 7 to 8, it's really where is this rain-snow line transition going to happen and how fast is it going to come across. It will happen at some point evening hour for Eau Claire and then taper off after midnight for snow. Further south you go, La Crosse probably near midnight and then continuing a little bit after before it tapers off probably between 3 and 4. That's what it's looking like now. As you go in the morning commute, precipitation is pretty much done with, and the good news is you see the temperatures, they're at or above freezing, so any snowfall really won't make much of an impact on roadways, maybe a little bit of a slush in some areas. There's amounts, very impressive rain amounts to see, 3/4 to an inch, especially as you go further south. It tapers off quite a bit as you go further north to Eau Claire, maybe a quarter, and even north of that, less than a tenth. But southwest Wisconsin, northeast Iowa, definitely up to an inch. That's a lot of rainfall for this time of year. Now snowfall, if you look at the most likely scenario, if that timing changes occurs, what I just said, you're not looking at a lot of snow. Mainly just about an inch, maybe a little bit more of wet snow, more towards the northeast. Now, if that transition occurs earlier, which it could happen, then you're looking maybe potentially at a 1 to 3 inch from Rochester up to Eau Claire, 2 to 3 inches of heavy wet snow. Once again, the roads will be probably fine given that the temperatures will be a little bit warmer, but still that's a scenario that could play out. And don't forget Friday night into Saturday. Friday looks okay all throughout the day, and even Friday night, we don't see much in the way of snow coming up into the area until closer to sunrise Saturdays. You see it coming through. One system's far to the south that's heading towards Chicago, just south. The cold front will interact too with this. So as we come up, we'll have snow kind of spread across the area right now and then continue through Saturday afternoon with the heaviest accumulation right now, probably east and south of the area. But we could see travel impacts with that, so more to come on that as we get closer to that and get past this very wet system. Sunday looks quiet, and Monday we're back to mild conditions. And overall, enjoy the mild conditions because I think towards the end of next week, after a series of cold fronts come through, we're going to get back to the 20s and maybe even teens. So our 30s will probably come to an end.
It's always short-lived.
Just when my dreams were coming true, my hopes were high.
I know, you get too excited
Things
about
were
the mild
looking up,
temperatures.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Greg.